Hello everyone and welcome to this video of Adobe Premiere Pro. And in this lesson, we're basically going to learn about the selection tool and move forward or backward tools. Okay, so let's not waste any time and let's get right into it. All right. Now, as you can see, we have our toolbar or tool panel right over here where we have the first selection tool right over here. Now, the selection tool in Adobe Premiere Pro is one of the most commonly used tools in the software's tool panel. It allows you to select, move, resize, and trim clips on the timeline. This tool is essential for basic editing tasks, working with visual elements of your project. Okay, so now let's go ahead and use it on our first clip over here. Now, let's say in this clip, I want to take about 5 seconds worth of video, so I'll select 5 seconds over here and then I'll just click on insert. Afterwards, you can see my videos over here, and then since my selection tool is selected by default, I can move it anywhere. I can move the video and audio anywhere in the tracks and audio, as you can clearly see. If I select the video only, then it will select the video track up and down, and if I select the audio only, it will select the audio track up and down. All right, and say I already have it up there, I can also see that it still stays up there even if I try to move the audio clip. All right, so this is the basic part of using the selection tool to click and drag to select clips. And you always have to remember to position your cursor over a clip on the timeline, click on it, and after that only it will be highlighted, indicating that it is selected. You can also click and drag the cursor to create a selection box just like this, okay? And it will encompass multiple clips or a portion of a clip. All right, so now let me go ahead and put in another video over here so that I can use it in order to show you more examples of why this tool is very important. Okay, now let me take another video over here. Let's say I take the astronaut video in my project panel. All right, then let's double click it to put it inside the source panel. And afterwards, say I want to take 5 seconds worth of video, so I'll select 5 over here. All right, then I'll just click on insert and I'll make sure my playhead is right beside this. Insert. All right, now that I've inserted this, you can see that my file over here has now magnetically linked to itself. All right, so now what I'll do is basically show you that the selection tool helps us to move our clips together, and at the same time, if you have the snap in timeline option on your timeline panel, it will help you to snap it in place. All right, and if you want to even move it up, just like I've told you before, it can do that too. Okay, now here you can see that in our timeline panel, we have these options. We have these video clips arranged, and let's say now that I want to just move my video over here instead of moving my audio all together with it. Now, in order to do that, first you can see the effect that it does move accordingly and both of them are selected. If you want to select it only by the video itself, we can either right click on it and then select unlink, or you can just go over here and then select the link selection option and then unlink it, and then you'll see that every part over here is selected individually but not in a whole group if it has an audio or video. If I select it again, you can see that yes, it is selected. Right click, unlink, and now you can see that it is unlinked, but we didn't have to select or deselect the link selection, as you can clearly see. Okay, now I can move my audio and video very freely without any repercussions, and also rearrange the order of clips in this position so that I can create the sequence properly. Now, it also helps us to resize clips. Now, for example, let's say that I want to resize this 5 second clip over here or 6 second clip and make it a 4 second or anything shorter than a 5 second video. Now you'll notice that when I go to the end of this video, right over here, it will show me this icon, which means that the icon is telling me if I want to trim this video or not. So I can just select it, or just, do it again. Select this. Then when the red icon comes up, I can just click on it once and then click on it again and then trim my video. Now notice, since I have unlinked my video and audio, it is only trimming our video. After that, you'll see that there is a red mark over here, okay, and the top triangular icon over here has disappeared. The top triangular icon in our timeline basically tells us that this is the start of the video and this is the end of the video. If it disappears, it means that Adobe Premiere Pro is telling us the end of this video is not there, or it is not the complete video clip. All right, so this is how you can trim your videos, and don't worry, your files are still there, totally unedited. This will just help you to make your video. Now let's say you want to make this video bigger and you know that this video is more than 5 seconds. You can do that also. Click over here, then drag it, and you'll see down below over here we have a plus icon showing the amount of seconds in my duration that I've added and the total duration, and trim media limit reached on video 1, which means that we have reached the amount of trimming that we can do for our video or audio clip. And yes, we can also trim our audio clips, as you can clearly see. All right, it's in the same way. Now let me right click and then basically press Control Shift, not Control, and then right click and link. And now you can see that I have linked my videos and audio together just like before. Okay, so after that, we will basically show you how to trim your videos a bit more easier. You can go over here on the 3 layers and then select the video or continuous video thumbnails. After you do that, double click on them and then it will show you a continuous video thumbnail where you can see that each frame over here is displayed. Now if I make this a bit bigger, it will be easier to see. Now you can see that this is how it looks like, and now I can easily make trims over here if I want to, saying each frame, all right, using the selection tool. Okay, so this is how you use it. Now let me make it big again, and I would recommend you use this only if you have like a proper computer that does not have any problems with RAM or VRAM. All right, so afterwards I will just turn it back to a default view because I want to keep this video as simple as possible. So I'll select video head and tail thumbnails. All right, double click to make it small, and you can use the selection tool. You can use the selection tool to double click over here in order to make the timelines bigger. Basically your toggle track, double click and it will make it bigger and smaller so that you can use it for yourself. Okay, so then let's move on to the next part of this video where the next part where we will be learning about is the track select forward tool. Now you'll notice something in Adobe Premiere Pro software. Whenever we try to use the sub menus over here, if you right click, it does not open the sub menu. In order to open your sub menus, you just have to click and hold with your left mouse click button. So now let's do this. And afterwards, immediately you can see that in 0.04 seconds, we have the track select forward and track select backward tool. All right, so we already know what this tool does. It is basically a tool which is useful for selecting all clips on a track from a specified point onwards or backwards respectively. These tools allow you to easily select and manipulate clips on a timeline without individually clicking on one. All right, so for example, let's say that I use the razor tool over here and then I cut up my video over here into multiple dissections. All right, okay, so now what will happen when I use the track select forward tool, and you notice that the shortcut for this is the keyword A. Now mind you, whenever you select the track select forward tool, it's A, but the track select backward tool is Shift plus A. Okay, and if you want to edit the way your shortcuts are displayed, always go to edit and then keyboard shortcuts, and then you're done. Then just search over here. For example, the tool we're searching for is track select forward tool. Now you can see that this is the keyboard shortcut. You can go over here and edit the way your keyboard shortcut is identified as. All right, so let's clear that and go forward with the part where I explain you what it does. Now, after selecting the track select forward tool, click and drag to select your clips. Okay, position the cursor at the desired point on the timeline, then click and drag to the right. Okay, now you can see that everything before this video over here were dragged to the right side. All right, now I can drag it back also, and as you can see, it fits right into place. Now you'll notice above over here I have a straight line on our time section. Now this will help you to position where you want your track select forward tool to work on. If you want to work in this video, okay, I mean if you want to work after this video cuts, and then select it right there. Afterwards you'll see all of them are selected. Let me deselect it and show it to you again. Okay, I'm right over here. Now you can see that everything is selected. I can again then click and drag to move it very easily. I can move up, I can move down. As you can clearly see, it all works similarly to the selection tool, but it helps you to track everything after a certain video cut. All right, then we can also, like after we select our desired timeline point, we can just manipulate the selected clips once desired. You can perform various editing actions on them collectively. For example, you can move them as a group and delete them, apply effects, or adjust their properties respectively. All right, so now after the track select forward tool, we have the track select backward tool. Okay, now before I go forward, when I press shift on my keyboard, you can see that there's only one single line over here. Now you'll notice when I select this, okay, what happens is it selects a single line. All right, let me just unlink this first and then deselect it again. Press shift, and there you go. Now you can see that even after I unlink them, it only selects one single track of my video timeline. And here you can see that this is what happens. Now if I press shift and click on this, you can see that every clip over here has only been selected, but not on the video track number 1, as you can clearly see. This way, this way, this way, this way, this way, this way. It works any way possible, as much as you want. Okay, now if I remove shift on my keyboard and then press, you'll see that it selects everything, and there is no distinction between each one of them, and we don't have to worry about like selecting all of them manually with our selection tool. Now the backward selection tool is basically the same thing. What it will do is the opposite of our forward selection tool. Now notice when I click over here, it selects everything beyond this line, which is basically before. Okay, it will select everything before this line. Okay, after that we can also click and drag it, move it around. All right, and again if I press shift and select a certain part, I can then move it like that. Okay, and here you can see that the track select tool is telling me, or the timeline tool is telling me, this is minus 4.11 milliseconds behind or forward from its desired time. Now if I just select it and move it again, you'll notice that the whole thing just comes from the backward parts, because we have our backward selection tool. Now make sure you use it responsibly. Click on the video that you need selectively. All right, and then move your videos left like that. Okay, now this is how you basically use the forward and backward selection tools in Adobe Premiere Pro. And the track select forward and backward tools are particularly useful when you want to select and work with multiple clips at once, saving your time and effort compared to selecting each clip individually. These tools allow for efficient editing and organization of clips on the timeline in Adobe Premiere Pro. So now go ahead and hop on to your Adobe Premiere Pro software, use the selection tool on a few clips, and then try to use the select backward and forward tool, track select backward and forward tool. And remember, you have to use your left mouse click button to open your sub menu over here in your tool panel, or else it will not happen and you'll be left wondering, why the hell did I buy this software? Okay, so thank you for watching this lesson, and I'll see you in the next video.